Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of domain and range. This is standard A.2A in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 37, which is a new item type called multiple select off the redesign practice online STAAR test. If we haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So this is multiple select, so we have to select two correct answers. So you notice what happens if I just try to select one and move on. It's going to say there's an error, you've only selected one. So this is a 2-point problem, one for each correct answer. And you see if I've selected two and I'm trying to get a third, it is impossible. So this is designed to make sure you select two and no more, no less. Let's take a look at our problem here. We've got a student borrowing quite a bit of money from a friend, and we're making monthly payments of $96 with no interest until the loan balance is paid off, right? So here's our balance, and then it's minus 96. So X is the monthly payments, okay? So $96 every month until it's paid off, right? So we are looking at two statements that are true about the domain and the range. Well, neither of those, unfortunately, are going to be defined for us in our reference materials. If we looked at those, we're not going to see that. So let's define those two for us real quick. All right, so the domain is going to be the set of our independent variable values. So these are most of the time going to be our X values. Sometimes they'll replace that with the letter that's kind of in the story problem itself. But our independent variable values, X. So that's what we start with, right? So in this case, it's the number of months. And then once we figure out how many months we've paid down this debt, that's going to help us get our range, which is our set of dependent variable values, because these values depend on what the X is. For the most part, it's going to be the Y values. But you notice in this problem, it's not the Y values, right? It's that F of X. So it's not always going to be the Y. So it's better to think of them as the dependent variable values. Those values depend on whatever the X is. So we've got, you notice that we're dealing with 4 examples here, so it's pretty clear that we're dealing with some discrete data. So discrete, not continuous. So those are whole concrete numbers that you find by counting. So 0, 1, 2, 3, or we skip count by, looks like 96, right? It's not continuous where it's all real numbers in between. So if this were on a graph, it would be little dots like this rather than a straight line. Because these are monthly payments. So we're not going to be making a payment at 1.5 months or 3.25 months. Month 1, month 2, month 3. So you know what? Let's just plot this out with like a little XY. Right here, okay? So XY, and really it's not an XY, it's an F of X. But for our sakes, we can view it as an XY. So what happens if we're at 0 months? So we can always start with 0 months, right? How much money do we have left? Well, if I plug that in right there, that's 480 minus 96 times 0, which is just 0. So at 0 months, I've still got to pay the 480 all the way back. At 1 month, right, I've paid off $96. So how much money do I have left? Well, 96, take away from that, it's going to get you 384. Now at 2 months, I've paid off another 96, so I'm down to 288. At 3 months, I've paid off another $96. I'm down to 192. At 4 months, I'm getting down, look at that, there's only 96. So there's 0 left. So here is my domain. It's only 0 to 5, because once I pay $96 a month, at 5 months, I paid the whole thing off. So here is my range, this 0 to 480. So you should notice that we've got this right here. The domain of the function, it's going to be that second option right there. And then the range of the function is going to be that last option right there. Those are the two true statements.